Hi, my name is Charlie from It's Barbie Paris, and welcome to my yard and just a candid little sit-down chat video. Thank you guys so much for continuing to engage with my content. I really wanted to celebrate some of my health wins, talk candidly about my health, the good, the bad, and just some points on disability and chronic illness. So if you don't know, like my main diagnoses, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it kind of impacts several things. So I have like probably like we're not sure if it's like degenerative yet, but I have lots of discs that have degenerative qualities to them and spurs, things like that. So I have a lot of stuff going on my back, arthritis and POTS, things like that. So first, let's get to the POTS. Okay, so this was my workout from today, and I did 20 of that standing. And if you guys don't know and you guys aren't familiar with my content, one of the main workouts that I do is I do Just Dance. And if you're unfamiliar, it's a dance workout. And I just follow the dances on screen for my wheelchair. And I've been working out like that for quite some time. And when I talk about like how I've adapted my workout, I've been adapting it differently as I move along, and I'll talk about that. But like today I was able to do 20 minutes of it standing, which I don't even know if I knew I'd ever be able to say that. I definitely have chronic pain. Like I said, I have like some back issues and stuff to contend with. But recently, I had my medication adjusted for my POTS, like my beta blockers. They put me on like an extended release. And at first, that was not kind of, I was really, really sick. And then they upped my dose with the extended release. And you guys, I feel like I'm on like something that's a wee bit life-changing, and I don't mean that like I mean that in the most dramatic way possible. Like today felt unreal, and it's something I'm going to have to continue to work at, and continue to make sure that I'm working on my health. Like I'm sitting in front of my pool right now. They come and I have my pool service tomorrow, so hopefully we can start doing daily swims and things like that. I want to continue to build on this. I don't want it to be like medication improved and then that's it. That's the end of my journey. That's the end of my fitness journey. But I've been on a fitness journey since last January. And I mean, even though my POTS didn't see like super significant reduction, what I started out with January 2024 is I was working out in a horizontal position, and all I was doing was kicking my feet. That's literally all I could do, and that was extremely hard to do for 5 minutes. And it hurt, and it was a 5 minute workout like that was a hard workout for me at the time. I was in so much pain, and I had no relief for my POTS symptoms. So again, I was achieving like numbers like 180, 150 beats per minute, doing things like that, or being even slightly active or being up and things like that. And so it made it really, really hard. And so I started again working out from a laying position. I was swimming last summer, and then I've just continually like worked up. And so then I was doing the pedals seated instead, and then I did the pedals with my hands. And then I started doing like the Just Dance or modifying different workouts on the Apple Plus catalog. And before I know it, again, like now my medication's been adjusted and my heart rate is like normal for the first time in so very long. And I was able to work out for 20 minutes without feeling lightheaded, and I'm not trying to push it. So I'll probably stick with like that 20-minute rule for quite some time, run with that for a while. And if I start doing really good on that, maybe I'll up it more. It's not a race. It's, I think a lot of people just want to get there the fastest. And sometimes that just doesn't work. And that's just not how fitness works. But for me, it's been just a journey. And it's a journey that doesn't look like a bodybuilder's fitness routine. But I take my fitness very seriously, and I work out every single day. And I've come so extremely far. And I think a lot of there's a lot of good to come from like working out and things like that, but obviously not everybody can do it, and it's not a cure-all. I still, even after working out for all this time, I still have POTS. I still have to be medicated for it. But it looks like now I'm going to have the opportunity to move beyond some of the symptoms I've been having. And it's like, so what's next? That's kind of what I feel like right now. What's next? What do I want to do next? Like, how can I continue this momentum? And again, when I have like degenerative issues and genetic conditions that kind of get worse as you age, there's a good chance like my body is not going to be strong and hold all of this power and energy forever. Don't know what my workouts are going to look like a year from now, 2 years from now, or what my lifestyle is going to look like. For right now, I'm walking and moving independently outside of my wheelchair as much as possible. I am definitely needing like some more support in my ankles. I'm still having the issues, obviously, with my back, and those are kind of like on a need to address basis. And so it's just kind of like um, medicating or just holding on until it's bad enough for surgery. And that's kind of where I sit with a lot of things. I have a stomach hernia, but it's just a little bit too small for surgery. So it's like a lot of things, it's kind of like my body is just cooking them and I just have to wait to see fruition. So, I mean, I'm not quick to say like, oh, I won't need my wheelchair. Definitely am going to need it at the very least for some time. And again, my wheelchair, I have it for a multitude of reasons. POTS was my main reason for a long time. And then in addition, the repeated chronic injuries that I was giving myself, I actually just am getting done like healing an injury on my foot. I had my kiddo just lightly fell on it and it absolutely wrecked my foot. It was super swollen and bruised, and I was wondering if I broke it, and it seems okay now. Kind of thing. I just kind of am tending to a lot of these small micro injuries in my ankles and my back and my hands, my wrists, things like that. In association with like my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and my arthritis, I have plans to go see a rheumatologist this year again, just to triple check like nothing else is like going on with me. My mom has lupus. I have histories of different autoimmune. My mom has pernicious anemia, which I think is also considered an autoimmune issue. So I like to keep up on that and check in on all that. So that's kind of my plan, just to make sure that like whatever's going on in my back, I'd like to go do that. And I'd like to go maybe revisit the podiatrist, especially since I've gone and I've had some injections and it didn't work. I've been doing some of their suggestions. And so it's kind of like, what now? I think I'm needing more support, especially if I'm going to want to, or if I'm going to be able to use my body in a way that's standing. Obviously, I would like to do that when I'm able to and healthy to. I have crutches, and so at some point, maybe I can wean myself to a point where that's more what I need as opposed to my wheelchair. But for right now, like especially like long grocery shopping trips and stuff, just for like injury prevention and stuff, I really think I need to have that. But I'm going to continue to work on my strength. I'm going to continue to monitor with doctors, continue to get those important scans and things like that, so they can say check and make sure like I'm not having anything degenerative happening or happening rapidly, things like that. But yeah, I think, you know, gosh, if my POTS is doing so much better and I am like in awe and wonder, it's like I wonder, I'm like, well, what's next? Then I can like maybe address some of these other issues that I've been having. And like I said, some of my issues is just kind of like just wait and see. It might not get better, but like I said, my stomach hernia is kind of like on the precipice of needing surgery already. So that's something I have to watch. And they found that on my endoscope or my colonoscopy. It's the same thing at the same time, but they kind of figured that out there. And then depending on how this goes with my medications, another tilt table test just to make sure. Because kind of what the cardiologist is telling me too is it's like I might have POTS, but I could also have something like a inappropriate sinus tachycardia, and you can have both at the same time. And so maybe that's what's happened. I've explained on like a lot of my pages that I think my POTS got a lot worse post COVID infections. And like I said, I was diagnosed, I was like around 23. I'm 30 now. And I was first put on medication when I was 29. And so that's quite a gap. But I think for a long time, and some people, their POTS is really just managed with more movement or fluids. But that started not really to be the case for me. And so I'm so grateful for medication and being able to get to a point where I'm taken seriously by my doctors. And so yeah, that's where we're at. We're like um on a medication that I was able to work out for 20 minutes standing. I don't know what my end of the year goal is. I kind of want to see how this goes for a while and make sure I'm not like overexerting myself or injuring myself. But it's like, wow, what if I could like build that up? What if I could be more reliant on, again, things like crutches or something that's a little bit more supplemental? That would be um, life changing for me. I think a lot of people think that having a wheelchair makes like your life exponentially easier than like the regular populace. Like you're not walking around, you're not doing this. But I think that's just coming from people who don't know what it's like to be chronically ill and people who think who would like to sit down, right? And that's more of like a public use issue and not a disabled issue. But they perceive that we're taking like an easy way with the wheelchair, when in actuality it's extremely difficult to get around and get to the places that you want to go. And so if I had a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of wiggle room when I went out, that would be great. We're holding on to the money just with like everything going on right now, but um we have money set aside and we'd like to one day go on a really nice vacation. I've always wanted to go to New York. I want to go to Memphis. I want to see Dollywood. There's like a lot of things like in this side of the United States, because if you guys don't know, I'm from like Utah and Wyoming. And so we saw like a good part of like the West, but the East is all new to me. Like if we drove here with a U-Haul, which is also wild to think about. 2.5 years ago, and now we're established here in a house with a dog and establishing my medical care. And I think that's a whole other video in itself, is just moving with health issues is extremely hard to do, and getting established and finding the care that you need, especially when you've already been established somewhere else, it has been like jumping hoops. And it's like I have signed so many different like, yeah, go ahead and call like this other doctor, like, privacy things, like, please get my information from this doctor. And then all of the doctors still don't have my information in the end. And so it just ends up like starting over and over and over again. And my doctor left, and then they put me with a new doctor for my primary care provider, and then shut down the clinic without telling anyone. So I don't have a primary care provider technically right now. And I have an appointment for one this weekend, which, I hate these like health conglomerates, especially if you're in Florida. You can probably think of a couple that are rough, but man, they have weekend appointments now. Like, shoot, never in my day would I imagine. We don't have 24-hour Walmart anymore, but we do have weekends primary care provider doctors appointments, which is great. So I guess, but yeah, just hanging out. Barbie and I are just gonna go have a chill day. I just wanted to film just kind of like a sit down chat video with you guys. We had a really good weekend. Went out this last night and just kind of looked around stores. There's not a lot going on in our area. It's a very small area. They're building a lot of new things. We didn't really want to go through the hustle and bustle going like Disney or going too far. I wasn't feeling 100%, but we went walk stores. I found a $20 Betsy Johnson bag. I was delighted. Yeah, but that's just what we did this weekend. We've been rewatching Yellow Jackets from the beginning, and we watched all of the Hunger Games with Kiddo. And so that's kind of what we've been doing, hanging out. Somebody's supposed to come fix our fence that got broke in the last hurricane. If you're in Florida, I feel like so many people's fences in that last hurricane just gave up, and that's real, honestly. But it was horrifying because during the hurricane, the fence got knocked over during like the first wave. And if you don't know anything about hurricanes, just like, okay, I didn't either, but like when it moves through, there's like a really, really, really strong beginning, and then it stops for this time it was like an hour because you're in like we were like in the middle of the eye, and so it was so quiet. So it knocked over my fence in the first go. It stopped, and then everybody in my whole house fell asleep during like that like quiet in the middle of the eye part, but I can't sleep. And I was awake and I was just like watching my pool cage like almost like take flight and lift up. And so that's why we just recently got our pool cage done, and I was making sure they redid all the screws and everything because it was taking the entire pool cage and ripping it up. And then it was too dangerous for me to go outside and extract the fence pieces, but they were just kind of like flapping back and forth like this between me and my neighbor's house. I could like look outside and I could see that there was some type of meteor over there. And I'm like, oh no, 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 what do I do? What do I do? But I don't want to go outside because it's like super dangerous right now. But we ended up making communication with her, and she's like, "Oh no, none of those work anymore." And so, thank you. But I was worried. It was like me all night through the entire hurricane, watching out the window, making sure that like I don't know. I didn't know if it was like a gas thing or whatever. There's so many things. Um, yeah. Also something I didn't even think about, like I've been gardening and I've been digging very shallowly, but I saw a post on Reddit where somebody accidentally dug and they found like a sewer main. And then I was at Lowe's this weekend looking at fruit trees and they all had like the call before you dig thing. And this is something I'll Google later, but if you know, also I'm looking at my garden right now. Should I be like for a tree? Probably, right? But for like should I be calling for anything like to put in a small flower? I don't know. I don't know. It's just a tree. Let me know. Anyway, that's what we've been working on a lot too, is our garden. But we've been really tired like these last few weekends, and so we've just kind of been letting what's here chill. I have some of my stuff here. Um, so these are my second round of cucumbers. There's a spider attached to it, so I'm gonna put it down. But all of my cucumbers besides one died on the trellis, and I had like 20 of them. But I kind of let these ones grow out of the outside, just in the pool cage instead of inside. And they are so much hardier. And so, just kind of a pro tip. I don't know. Uh, Growing them outside made them just a little bit stronger. Um, I didn't listen to the package directions. I can't grab it, but I had bok choy over here, and it's like put it immediate in the ground. But I couldn't do it that day, and I just was like, okay, I'll just throw out my seed cells. And I killed all the bok choy. So highly recommends that you put bok choy directly in the ground. I showed you guys this that I'm trying to sprout a ginger root, and there's some little rootage growing in. And then I have my herb garden over here, everything like that. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of been me hanging out, and my new hobby has been looking for like super good sales on like Betsy Johnson purses and earrings, and uh going to the library more. I want to spend time more in like less just capitalist spaces. So I've been liking the library. I've been liking hanging out at home, working on our garden. And I feel like right now it's like gardening feels really therapeutic in a way, but it also feels like a safety net. And with everything going on in the world and stuff, it's like I'm not growing. This year I probably won't see very much of my mango trees. Probably gonna give us some mangoes. But I would like to eventually build a much more like self-sufficient backyard, and we're trying to do that. Our compost is going really good. Honestly, I'm really, really proud of myself. I didn't know if I had it in me, and so it's coming along, and I'm really proud of it. And I filmed a video showing it last month. I'm gonna do it every single month, and so we'll see like the progress and like how the bushes grow and develop every single month, and things that I add. I just heard general slamming in the front, so I don't know if somebody's here, but I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this is any of these topics like accessible gardening, Florida living, things like that, having a service dog, um, being disabled, POTS, exercising, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, anything like that sounds like you. Maybe this is a channel for you. So I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna edit this, watch a movie, hang out, and the repair guy comes, and we'll have a fixed fence, which I'm really, really excited about. So talk to you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.